Hello, Lettermen Row watchers, readers, followers. I am Jeremy Birmingham. This is another episode of Birminology on Lettermen Row. Today's guest is Ohio State target in the class of 2022, CJ Hicks from Dayton, Archbishop Alter High School. CJ, thanks for taking some time to join the show, and congratulations on receiving the offer from Ohio State last week. What did that offer mean to you? Let's just dive in. What did that offer mean to you to get?
It was a big offer for me. It's still a big offer to my family because I live in Ohio. I'm an Ohio kid, but I'm still gonna look at all my offers the same for right now. Nothing's really gonna change my recruitment.
Now, you first visited Ohio State really last summer as a recruit, going there and camping a couple times with Jeff Hafley, getting to work almost exclusively at that time with the safeties. Your 247 sports profile lists you as an athlete. Some people see you down the road as a linebacker. Like, where do you see yourself fitting in? I know you like to play running back as well. So, where do you see this going for you when it comes to position-wise as you start to develop physically and get older?
I like playing strong safety, outside linebacker. Most of my offers are coming from those positions, but some of the offers that I have are allowing me to play both sides of the ball.
The relationship with the Buckeyes, I think there was a moment there, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in the middle part of this, from the end of your sophomore year to now, where maybe it seemed like there wasn't as much contact as you would have liked. Is that accurate, or am I reading it wrong?
No, it's like I'm a sophomore now, so I understand that they can't really reach out to me as much as they are with 2021 kids. You can see how many commits they have in 2021 already.
And then, but this really started to ramp up in the last few months between you and Al Washington. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What is it about Coach Washington that you think has made you two kind of hit it off? I mean, I know, again, you were dealing with Jeff Hafley before, and then he left. How does the relationship with Al Washington, how is that building for you right now?
He kind of did the same thing I'm doing. He grew up in Dayton Public School. He didn't grow up in Dayton Public Schools, but he lived in bad community, kind of, sort of, and his parents put him in a private school. We went to Bishop Watterson, I think. But
right.
How his parents just want the best for him, and me and him can relate from that. Him and my mom talking, she just showed that she wants the best for me. And Coach Washington, he just he's a good guy. I like him as a coach. He said that we're gonna watch some of my films sometime and break down and dissect what's good and what's bad. So it's good coming from a good outside linebacker coach, I think.
You have offers from almost 25 schools, Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State included. We talked last summer, and you made no real bones about it as an Ohio kid, that an Ohio State offer means something. I don't know. It may mean something different, even if you're not going to handle it different, correct?
Yes, sir. Conversation.
What does your decision need, I guess? Where do you go from here when it comes to this ultimate choice? Because now that you have the opportunity from Ohio State, you have an opportunity to step up and be a class leader in 2022 that has no commitments. Is that something that you've thought about? Not even necessarily just for Ohio State, but for any school that, is looking to kickstart the 2022 class?
Yes and no, because I'm still going to take visits and look at my options and stuff. These colleges that hasn't offered me, I still want to go look at and observe. So I'm probably going to drop my top 5 at the end of my junior year.
Okay.
And then at the end of that summer, I'm probably going to commit to a school.
Now, you've been to Ohio State a handful of times as a recruit, but have you really had an opportunity to be there in a capacity where you examine the whole school, or has it just basically been camp and then football games?
I toured the football facility. I haven't really looked at the academic stuff.
Being a guy at Alter, that's something I know that's important to you. How have you started to research these colleges that are interested in you? Again, big time academic programs like Notre Dame are on that list. I mean, are you starting to to find one or two key things that are most important to you as this process expands?
One of the things is just making me feel like I'm at home. You're fine. And then another thing is I want to major in business.
Okay.
So I'm looking at like which school has the best business program, and even if the school doesn't really have a good business program, how is it going to help me outside of football?
Do you have like a business that you want to run? Do you know what you want to do when football's over? What do you want to be?
I haven't really looked into any of that yet. I'm still like deciding.
Now, CJ, you are now, I think, the fourth player in Ohio, or third player in Ohio in the class of 2022 to have an offer from Ohio State, along with Tegra Toshivola, the offensive lineman from down in your neck of the woods, and Gabe Powers up near Columbus. Have you guys spoken? I mean, has there been any sort of relationship formed with you in-state guys to this point?
I grew up playing against Tegra, so he played for Westchester, I played for Charlotte, and Gabe, I talked to Gabe a little bit, but the guy I'm really like growing a bond with is Caden from I don't remember the school you guys.
Caden Saunders over at Westerville South.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You guys have been on a couple of visits together, or how does that bond working?
We talk almost like every day. We've got like a group chat. It's called 2022 Greatness.
Is there? And you see in Ohio right now, the Buckeyes have in the class of 2021 7 different commitments from in-state already, and I'm sure if you spoke to any of those guys, or if you do speak to any of them, they probably talked to you and said, it's good to commit early because you can build the class. But for a player like you who wants to take this process down the road a bit, do you feel any pressure now to end your recruitment because you have an Ohio State offer, or is that not even hit you yet?
It's people telling me that I should commit now because, like, what if I get injured or whatever, playing in my junior or senior season? But I'm still going to leave it open. I do have some of the conversations with some of the guys that's committed to RLC already.
What's been the best advice you've been given so far as this process is now starting to sort of ramp up for you?
Stay humble and keep my head down. Just make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a person.
How hard has this spring been, if you don't mind me asking, CJ, just understanding that this, for a guy going into your junior year, I mean, I don't know how much you've talked to coaches and players and stuff who've been through this process, but for a player going from a sophomore to a junior year, that is sort of like the most important time in your recruitment in a lot of cases. Have you felt like that your options maybe have been limited by this spring and the inability to travel and see schools, or because obviously, as you said, these colleges can't reach out to you yet too often. I mean, how are you handling losing this very important time?
I was supposed to go on 4th vision, so I was supposed to go to Michigan, Florida, Miami, Florida, and Tennessee, but all that stuff got canceled because of the virus. But I just look at it as it's all part of God's plan. So,
and at least the good news is the good news, I guess, is everyone in your class is going through it, right? So it's not like you're losing something that other guys aren't. What is it like now for you? I mean, what has the spring been like? What are you doing to keep on top of your workouts, to keep on top of academics? I mean, if you could just walk people through, like, what is this like for a person in your position?
School is like a Zoom class is what some of the coaches been doing, like after meetings with the players or whatever, the coaching staff. But the teacher would send us links or whatever, and we would click it, and the whole class was like a group FaceTime or whatever. And then they'll see it. They'll send us work on email and stuff, and we have to email it back to them, pictures of the work done and stuff like that.
Do you feel like this is costing you in any way?
No, not really. It's just you can't really be that social.
Got it.
Well, football-wise, yes, because you're not in the weight room, like growing together as a team, as Alter would like to do. Because last year we weren't as good as we were the year previously, so we want to make it back to state like we did my freshman year. So we can't really do that if we're all just at home chilling or just
Right.
lifting along.
Absolutely. How much of a chance, CJ, have you had to get to talk to Ryan Day in the last few months? Has there been any relationship building with him?
I talked to him twice in the past 3 months, but I was going to have a conversation with him and Coach Washington later today.
Got it. Well, look, I'm going to let you go to that. I really appreciate you taking some time. I told you before the call that I try to keep you around 10 minutes or so. And I know this process is going to get overwhelming at times, and I hope that you're able to absorb it and enjoy it and understand the blessing that it's bringing into your life. And really appreciate you taking time to join this episode of Birminology. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. That is CJ Hicks. This has been Birminology on Lettermen Row. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and you know we got Buckeye IQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Birm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.